Dr. Carol A. Cartwright.
Thank you, Provost Henry. Good afternoon, everyone. It is with great pride and pleasure that I welcome you to the 1998 Spring Graduate Commencement. This afternoon, we are pleased to welcome back one of our own, Stephen C. Wood, Vice President for Research and Foundations at the Summa Health System in Akron, Ohio. Dr. Wood is also a professor of physiology at the Northeastern Ohio University's College of Medicine. He received his bachelor's degree here at Kent State in biology and psychology, and then earned his master's degree here in biology and ecology. He received his doctorate from the University of Oregon. Dr. Wood has been involved with the postgraduate training at the U.S. Navy Submarine Medical Center in Groton, Connecticut, where he worked with Dr. Carl Schaefer on environmental physiology. He also worked with Dr. Johansen at Aarhus University in Denmark, where he was involved with respiratory and cardiovascular physiology. Our speaker's vast experiences includes being a science teacher early in his professional career to working in higher education as a professor, director, and department chair. In addition to the valuable role of researcher, he has accumulated an extensive list of extramural funding projects with the National Science Foundation and the National Institutes of Health. Dr. Wood has received numerous honors, including the Danish Natural Science Research Council Award and the Visiting Research Fellowship at the Max Planck Institute in Göttingen, Germany. Now it is my honor to present to you Kent alum, Dr. Stephen C. Wood.
Thank you, Dr. Cartwright. It's a great pleasure and an honor to be asked to return to Kent State as a commencement speaker 32 years after leaving here with a diploma and a wife, Linda, in hand. Actually, I had two reactions to the invitation to speak. The first one was, wow, what an honor. And the second one was, uh-oh, I have to think of something to say. I was relieved to learn that the talk should only last 8 minutes. Although both my brothers, my wife, and my good friend Jerry Myers assured me that this was plenty of time to make a complete idiot out of myself. I tried without success to remember the commencement talk I heard when I was sitting out there 32 years ago. And I could not remember a single word of it. Then one night last week, in my sleep actually, it came to me. And I woke up and I wrote it down, and I decided to use that same talk again. So this is what I heard in 1966. Yada, 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 yada. Seriously, what I would like to do today is answer for you the very important question, what is the secret of success? Unfortunately, I can't do that because, as Oscar Wilde put it, I'm not young enough to know the answer. However, I think that one key to success is a willingness to take risks, and I'll share some of my thoughts on that. My parents took a risk when they offered to pay my tuition if I could get into college. Kent State took a huge risk when they admitted me. My high school record, which I dusted off last week, was the following: English, C; Latin, C; Math, C+; Industrial Arts, C+; Typing, C. So what was Kent thinking? I can only guess that they had absolutely no standards for admission in 1960. Someone in the admissions process obviously trusted me to bloom once I started college. How did I repay that trust? My freshman GPA was a towering 2.08. My sophomore year was not much better, with a 2.4. Then, something happened during the next 2 years that remains an unsolved mystery. Either I grew up, which is highly unlikely, or Kent had been saving its interesting courses for the third and fourth years. All of a sudden, I ran into some really thought-provoking courses like abnormal psychology, how to think straight, evolution, taught by one of Kent's great professors, Lowell Orr. And I started, for the first time in my life, to acquire a love of thinking and learning. My third-year GPA was 3.54, and the scholastic bull market had started for me. The downside of this new zest for thinking was it really messed with my mind. I arrived here in 1960 with my mind totally at peace and balanced. My left brain, as it should, focused on logical thinking, analysis, and accuracy, which for me meant, how could I rebuild the engine in my '56 Chevy? My right brain, as it should have, focused on aesthetics, feeling, and creativity. For me, that meant which sorority had the nicest looking women, and was Ray's Place a better place to go than Venice Cafe? Then these brain areas got invaded during my third and fourth year by weird new topics like existentialism. Have you ever seen an existential map? It's got hundreds of pins with flags on them all over the place, and every flag says, "You are here." I even started pondering the mystery of song lyrics of the time. For example, if he knew that the levee was dry, why would he drive his Chevy to the levee? Even more mysterious, if he shot the sheriff, why wouldn't he go ahead and shoot the deputy? I mean, I don't condone violence, but why would you leave an eyewitness? I didn't get it. I did finally graduate, not cum laude like some of you are, but as Bill Cosby put it, thank you, Laude. But today is your day, and you should be very proud of your accomplishments, and so should your parents. Today, for most of you, is a milestone, a watershed day, and you are crossing the Rubicon to enter the world of serious risk-taking. If, as I hope is true, Kent has messed with your minds like it did with mine, you are ready to apply your thinking skills to decide which risks should you take. The Grateful Dead wrote a song called Deal that tells us how risk, skill, and the luck of the draw determine life's winners and losers. And as the lyrics tell us, since it costs a lot to win and even more to lose, you and me bound to spend some time wondering what to choose. So what should be your paradigm for success? First of all, you won't, unfortunately, figure out success by looking at success. As Somerset Maugham once said, there are 3 rules for writing a novel. Unfortunately, no one knows what they are. You might be tempted to say it's different with careers and business. Everyone knows the rules of success. That's true. You can find them listed in 1,000 books. But there's still this problem. Studying novels doesn't make you a novelist, and studying success won't make you successful. People try to conform to success, but really to be successful, you have to be a nonconformist and a risk taker. So don't be afraid of taking risks, and don't be put off if your ideas aren't readily accepted. I'm reminded of a Yale student named Fred Smith who wrote a term paper proposing reliable overnight delivery service. His professor of management returned it with the notation, "The concept is interesting and well-formed, but in order to earn better than a C, the idea must be feasible." Fred Smith went on to found a company called Federal Express. Likewise, a new rock and roll group in 1962, trying to get their first recording contract, got a rejection letter from Decca Recording Company that said, "We don't like your sound, and also guitar music is on the way out." That group was called the Beatles. So keep trying, keep taking chances. Of course you might fail, but if you don't try, you've already failed. Let me conclude my remarks with a message that is best summed up by what the actor Alan Alda, the star of MASH, wrote in a letter to his daughter. Be brave enough to live life creatively. The creative is the place where no one else has ever been. You have to leave the city of your comfort and go into the wilderness of your intuition. You can't get there by bus, only by hard work and risk, and by not quite knowing what you're doing. What you'll discover will be wonderful. What you'll discover will be yourself. Thank you very much.
Dr. Wood, I think that very warm applause says it all. You've delivered a wonderful message to all of us in a wonderfully warm and humorous way, and we appreciate it very much. As an institution, we do care more about how our students leave us than how they come to us. And you may be our new poster boy for that concept.